How to silence the voices in your head that stop you from taking the big, aggressive action that will actually get you to success in business, in your health, in your deen. I've coached hundreds of men, alhamdulillah, in their business and in their life, and I wrote the book on how to be a top Muslim man. And whether you want to start a business, get in the best shape of your life, learn Arabic, memorize the Quran, whatever big goals you have, it all starts in your head. So in this video, I'm going to cover the most common mindset barriers that stop us from taking massive action, and I'm going to systematically destroy them, inshallah. And a bit later on, I'm going to give you 3 du'as that you can use to fight back and use them as a tool in your arsenal against them. And by the end of this, you're going to understand exactly what is holding you back mindset-wise and how to overcome it. Let's get started. Now, first, imagine that you're in a car and you've got a really big trip that you want to go on, right? You're really excited. You might be going to Hajj, you might be going to visit some family members or have a trip with your friends or whatever. You've got everything packed. You've got the destination, right, set in your Google Maps, whatever, and you sit down in the car, you turn the engine on, turns on as smooth as usual. And for some reason, when you're accelerating, your left foot is stuck on the brake. And as you accelerate more and more, the wheels spin a little bit, but you're not going anywhere. And then you really realize that it's because your foot is on the brake. Why won't this foot get off the brake? That is what it's like to have mindset barriers and have these voices in your head telling you that the thing that you want, don't do it. There's this reason and that reason and that reason not to do it, so don't do it. But you deep down really want that thing. That's what this is like. So in this video, you're going to understand how to take your foot off that brake, even if it feels stuck. And you have to understand how much of a problem this is if you want to live an above average life. If you want to accomplish big things and you're ambitious right now, but you have this negative self-talk, you have these voices in your head that tell you, oh, what about that? Or what about that? Well, maybe you shouldn't do that. Or what will they say? This is really going to be a major thing holding you back in anything you want to achieve in life. And I know this because I've coached hundreds of people on starting a business. And the biggest thing that I find that holds them back, either the reason that they just don't want to go any further or the reason they're not putting in the hours and the work, is because of this negative self-talk. And that's why you'll find a lot of the top courses out there, they will always have a section at the beginning about mindset. That's not because they're like hippies and they care about you meditating or whatever. It's because they realize the reason these guys are not getting success with the course is because of something going on in here. So this is not something to just put aside and say it'll go away eventually. It actually won't a lot of the time, and it will be the main reason that you don't succeed and you don't become that above average man who has a lot of accomplishments under his belt. So the first thing you need to recognize with these thoughts in your head, the negative self-talk, which is the proper term for it, I guess, is that these are foreign entities, right? A lot of us, we think that they are our thoughts. They are not our thoughts. You have to stop thinking of them like that. Think of them as a foreign invader crossing over your wall and invading your territory, trying to take it over. They're ransacking villages. They're setting houses on fire. They're taking women, children, this and that. That's what these are. Now, they could be from the nafs, because the nafs desires comfort and stuff like that, or they could be from shaitan. Maybe a scholar can explain that. But they are foreign entities. We have to treat them like a fly. When a fly comes to you, it's on your arm, it's flying in front of your eyes, it's on your nose. What do? You swat it away. You don't treat it as though it's part of you. No, you tell it, get away, and then you hit it once, it might come back. You hit it twice, but eventually it kind of finds somewhere else to go, and off it goes. It doesn't come back. And that's how we have to treat these voices in our head. But here's a big point. A lot of people will say, and I used to say this as well, oh, but the voices in my head, they are my thoughts because they have a point and there's something real going on there. There's some truth to it. And to that, I will say, if there's some truth to it, then deal with the truth, right? If you're not ready for something, then prepare for it, whatever it is. But if it just leads to you being paralyzed and it leads to you not taking action, then no, there's no truth in it. Just ignore it and move on. So the first type of voice in your head is the fear of failure. This is when you worry about what will happen if you don't succeed at something that you're trying. The thing is that you're trying to achieve, the bigger the fear of failure a lot of the time, because I guess you feel like there's a higher chance of failure. And a lot of it comes down to what will people think of you, but also any other negative consequence. Now with this one, the way I would deal with it is I would say, yes, I might fail in a micro way, but I will never fail in a macro way. So of course, when you're doing something difficult, you're doing something big, or you're doing something new, of course you'll have failures, if you want to call them that. That is very normal. And I would accept it as part of the journey. This is all a learning experience. This is a way that I learn. When you were learning to walk, one of the most difficult things, if you think about it, one time you weren't walking, next thing you have to walk, you're walking. How do you learn to walk? You fall a lot, you trip a lot, right? My little girl, she trips over, she hit her head on the table, it hurts, right? But because she kept trying and trying, she didn't have this voice in her head, eventually what? She can walk. So same goes with you, but you have to frame it like that any little failure is only a micro failure in the total thing. Like they say, you've lost the battle, but you haven't lost the war, right? There is a bigger macro goal here. And so you start a business and it doesn't work. It doesn't mean your career in business is over. You propose to someone for marriage and they're not interested. It doesn't mean you're never going to get married. It's a micro part of the overall process. Also, lower the stakes of what it means to succeed in the first place. So let's say you're trying to start a business and it's the first time in business and maybe your family know and they keep asking you about the results or something like that. Don't say, I'm starting a business. It's going to be an empire. I'm going to make $1 million a month. No, say, I'm thinking of trying this out and I'm looking to get my first $1,000. That's what I'm trying to do. Let's see if it works. You can say that to them, even if internally you have big, big dreams for it. But for them, you could just say that. Or even if you have that voice in your head that, oh, but you'll never be able to do that. You'll probably fail. Say, I might fail at the $1 million a month, but the first $1,000 I want to make, inshallah, I won't fail at it. I'm just trying that for now. So lower the stakes and lower what is the definition of success in your head. The next major voice that comes into your head and tells you to give up, to fail, to not even try, is the voice telling you that you can't do it. You're not able to do it. And to that, I would say, yes, you're right, you cannot do it. Nothing happens without the will of Allah. You can't even breathe. Your heart won't even pump without the will of Allah. So stop relying on yourself and your abilities. Rely on Allah. Allah, if you ask Him, if you put in the work, then inshallah Allah will allow you to do it. Without you having the ability today, He'll give you the ability eventually. The second thing I would say is you don't know if you can or cannot do something that you're trying to do for the first time. You never started a business and you're trying to start one. Well, how do you know if you can or can't excel in business? You've never tried it, you don't have proof. And with this, I just think anything in life, not because I'm capable, but because Allah is capable and Allah made the laws of nature, made the laws of this world. And the laws of this world say that if you have a decently good method of doing something and you keep trying it and improving, then you'll do it, you'll achieve it. Maybe not really, really big goals like, I don't know, $1 billion company or memorizing Quran in like 5 qira'at or something like that. Maybe not those massive things, but anything that we're aiming for, which is even pretty big, if we just keep trying at it, then we'll do it. It's often not our ability that lets us down. It's just that we give up and we don't keep going. So think about it like that. Anything, if you keep trying at it, you have a good method. And even if you don't have the best method at the beginning, you find the best method eventually. Inshallah, you can achieve it. The question is, do you want to achieve it? Is it worth the sacrifice, the time, the effort, the money to put into it? If it is, then go for it. Inshallah, you'll do it by the will of Allah, not by your will. Okay, now there's a very funny other voice that comes in your head. And that is all about the fear of success. What's the fear of success? It's that if I succeed in this, then there will be consequences that are negative. So overall, the goal is a good goal, but there are certain things that are packaged with it that are not so good. For example, people sometimes say when they're starting to work out, oh, what if I get too big and muscly, right? That's what they're worrying about the first day in the gym. But that's an example of the fear of success. It sounds silly when I give you that example, but that's what it is most of the time. You're worried about something that is hypothetical. You don't even know if you will encounter that future possible problem. What you should worry about is getting success in the thing that you know for sure is inshallah good for you. You should focus on that, and anything negative that comes with it, it may or may not even happen. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you have problems in your life now, right? That's why you're working on this goal, wherever it is. And in the future, you will still have problems. Never think that when I achieve this goal, your life will be perfect. No, you'll just have different problems, different tests. Because as we know, life is a test. Allah gives us tests. So why would we not have tests in the future? This is something that as a Muslim, we should definitely understand. And the third thing I would say is that have confidence, again, not necessarily in yourself, but have confidence in Allah and trust in Allah that if those negative things come with the success, firstly, the success is much bigger than those problems. And secondly, Allah will help you navigate it. right? But I think a lot of the time when you're worried about this, maybe your goal isn't good in the first place. Maybe you're doing it for the wrong reasons in the first place. For example, if you're trying to start a business to make loads of money because when you have loads of money, you won't have problems in life, that's a bad goal because you will still have problems in life. But if you're starting this business so that you can provide for your family, you can give extra charity, you can do projects for the sake of Allah, whatever it is, you have these really good intentions, then that's something definitely realistic because Allah will never let you down when it comes to your effort and your good intentions and your action. He will always reward you for that. Now, just before we get into the next one, there is a special video I made which covers the other two big barriers that hold people back from success and keep them procrastinating on their biggest goals in life. So the other two I mentioned in the video, it's in the description, you can check that out. And the other big voice that comes in your head is the perfectionism, where anything that you do has to be perfect. If other people do it, it's fine, they were trying, yeah, they did a good job, yeah, they're just a beginner, they did great for a beginner. But when it comes to you, everything has to be perfect. You have the highest standards for you. And all that does is make you fail and not try in the first place. So what I recommend you do is just lower those standards. For example, I didn't feel like going to the gym the other day. I was feeling a bit like bloated from my breakfast. I was feeling like, yeah, it's not going to be a good workout. I didn't sleep that well last night. I'm not going to get a good pump. Like, what's the point? But then what did I do? I just lowered the standards. I said, yes, it's not going to be a good workout. Yeah, it's not. Okay, it's not. So what? You're not going to go? No, you're still going to go. Why? Because consistency is way more important than the quality of the workout session. Consistency is more important. So understanding some of these principles of success is important as well, because then you can talk back to the voices. So I told myself, I'm going to the gym just to be consistent, even if I don't get any pump, even if it doesn't tear any of my muscle fibers and therefore grow bigger muscles. I'm just going to embed the habit in my life and to embed that habit in my identity that I'm somebody that works out. So sometimes you can completely disarm these voices by just agreeing with them. Yeah, it's not going to be a perfect workout. Yeah, I know. That's fine. I'm cool with that. Okay, leave me alone now. And to be honest with you, I can talk about these voices in my head and in your head and in our head because I experience it deeply. I consider myself a bit of a negative person. You know, my business partners, they would call me the dream crusher because any idea that somebody had, I was always able to find the reason that it wouldn't work. And yes, that I applied that to myself, of course, in my own head, but I would apply it to other ideas as well. I was always able to find that reason that it just sucks, that idea sucks, that way of doing it sucks. So yes, I was the dream crusher. And even before I was working with them, I remember looking at my family members and noticing a pattern of negativity, of skepticism. And one day I was working in my rubbish library job, but alhamdulillah, I had a lot of freedom to walk around and read books and stuff. And I thought, you know what? I'm never going to be above average if I hold on to these voices in my head. This negativity, it seems to run in the family somehow, and I need to take an active approach at getting rid of it. Otherwise, I'm going to be average. And for me, that's my worst fear, is being average. You're probably the same. You're an ambitious guy. You want to do a lot of stuff. And so you cannot handle being average. So what I did was I read a lot of psychology books and I read a lot of self-help books. And ironically, like some people think these books don't work and stuff, I started to implement some of these things and I started to put them into real practice though, meaning whenever the voice comes in my head, I would reply to it. I would have a response, just how I've given you some ideas of how you can respond. Then I would respond and I would respond until the voices just got quieter. And some of those voices are gone away completely now. And some of them come back, but I just know how to deal with them, right? I know the exact disarming technique for them. So do I still procrastinate? Yeah, probably a bit. But do I know how to get rid of like 80% of those voices? Yes, because of experience, but because of ongoing effort at replying and responding to these voices that come in my head. And like I said, I'm a very negative guy. And if I was able to overcome it, you're able to overcome it. It just takes responding to them a few times. Now, for the most powerful part, we've had our ways of responding to those negative voices, but there's also du'as, so that Allah will help us with them. And, you know, we don't rely on ourselves, we're relying on Allah. So the first one is, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-hammi wal-hazan, wa'udhu bika min al-ajzi wal-kasal, wa'udhu bika min al-jubni wal-bukhl, wa'udhu bika min ghalabati ad-dayn wa qahr al-rijal. And this basically means, Oh Allah, I seek refuge in you from worry and grief, from incapacity and laziness, from cowardice and miserliness, and from being overcome by debt and overpowered by men. So this is a very strong one because it's an amazing dua, it's a well-known dua, but it specifically targets worry and grief. That's hammi wal hazan. That's the type of thing that causes the worry in your head, the thoughts in your head. It's worry, it's anxiety. So this one will help you with that. The second dua, which I love from the morning adhkar, which you say 7 times. Hasbi Allahu la ilaha illahu, alayhi tawakkaltu, wa huwa rabbul arshil azim. It's basically saying that Allah is sufficient for me. There is no deity or no Lord, no God but Him. I place my trust in Him and He is the Lord of the mighty, great throne. So you're saying that Allah is enough for you. You trust in Allah and Allah is the Lord of the mighty throne. Basically, Allah is so powerful. So anything that you're up against, oh, you might fail, oh, you might succeed and those negative things will come with it. Oh, you're not able to do it, you can't do it. Whatever it is you're worried about, well, Allah is enough for you to deal with those issues. And then finally, we have a dua which is kind of for anything difficult, anything where you feel overwhelmed, which is Allahumma la sahla illa ma ja'altuhu sahlan wa anta taj'alul hazna idha shi'ta sahla. Which basically means, oh Allah, nothing is easy except what you make easy. And you can make what is difficult easy if you will. So again, it's putting it back on Allah. I think a major theme here is do not put your trust in yourself. Do not say, oh, you can't do it. Yes, you can't do it. Allah can do it for you. Allah will sort it out for you. Allah will hook you up. Believe in Allah. Have a good opinion of Allah. You might have a bad opinion of yourself with these negative thoughts, but you can have a good opinion of Allah. And in the end, Allah is the one that will facilitate anything for you. And I don't want you to take this lightly. This is something that if you don't fix it, bro, if you don't overcome it, and I'm not saying you have to have no negative thoughts in your head, but if you don't reduce it by 50, 60, 70% or more, then I don't think you can do something significant in your life. You're always going to have these worries. And don't think that, oh no, it only comes up when I'm talking about Arabic or Quran, or it only comes up when I'm trying to work on my business. No, this is something that will impact all parts of your life, and you'll never be able to do anything difficult or anything new or anything challenging because this will always be holding you back. So it's your duty to yourself, to your family, to the ummah, and to Allah. It's your duty that you stretch yourself out of your comfort zone. You deal with these opinions of other things, whatever they are, that enter your head. They're not your opinions, they're not your thoughts. You deal with them so you can rise to your full potential, and Allah will reward you immensely for that. And like I said, this is only one of the 3 things that I've identified that stops people from achieving greatness and achieving their big goals in life. So to find out what the other 2 things are and how to fix them exactly, watch this video right now. Go on, click it, watch it. Why not?